Well, well, well. Nobody is more surprised than me that we are here potentially on Covenant rank 25 with a win in Monster Train. Let's not even think about what's going to happen, quote unquote, when the series is, or when the Covenant ranks are done. We'll figure it out. I didn't expect to be here this quickly, but at the same time, we could be stuck specifically on Covenant rank 25 for a long time, like Ascension 20 and Slay the Spire. Honestly, I'm trying to think about what we want here. Let's look at our logbook. We've been doing a good job of mixing it up. Still need a bunch. So I would say Hellhorn Champion needs our support. He needs our support. Here's what I think you do. I think you do Hellhorn Awoken. Oh no, wait, that's what. Let me check again. Is that Hellhorn Stygian number 2? It is. Hellhorn Stygian. There are decent Stygian tanks. And there's decent Hellhorn tanks for those strong Stygian units. I mean, Umbra would probably be my #1 choice, but we've played a lot of Umbra lately, which is fun. They're really good. But I think we'll do it like this. We've really got to work on how we deal with the champion here. Ice Tornado, Imp in a Box. You sap our units. You apply Rage. You add Imps to our hand. I actually think 7 energy on the first turn of battle, and then go for, like, Demon Fiends. I think that gives you the best chance. So it comes down to how we want this to work. You're not bad. Like, multi-strike is so good, obviously. But if we can get the Slay triggers to work, I think you could become an insanely great unit if we have something tanking in front of you. But it's a bit scary. What we want to see is a Consumer of Crowns or a Demon Fiend. Anything like that early. Not Demon Fiend. Well, actually, Demon Fiend is exactly what I meant. I was just mistaken. Hold on. So Slay triggers are worth a lot here. I still think there's no reason not to set up on floor 2 instead when these guys are a little weaker. Might as well get ready for collectors. So ideally, hold on. Donkey donka donka donk donk donkey donka. We want as many Slay triggers as possible. So I actually don't know if you play the Molting Imp at the bottom, although it would get in front for sure. You do 1 damage. I think we do it like this. You still get a Slay trigger. We'll slow you guys down. You're still dying here, huh? How about now? Not dying. I'd really rather you didn't die, but we have to make sure that you can get a kill. So I think this is the way to do it. It seemed right. It felt wrong, but it seemed right. Let's put it that way. And you add bad stuff to our deck. You really only take a hit, so I don't know if we'd even do that. What do? We got another Imp coming next turn? Maybe we could. And then the problem with summoning a Train Steward is it just dies immediately unless we put it on the top floor. So we will put it on the top floor. I don't mind our Pyre taking a little hit, but we got to find a way through this situation right here. Obviously, this is great if it hits the units at the front. If it doesn't hit the units at the front, I actually think we might be better off with this and this, and we're doing 63. No real place to put that. I don't think our Train Stewards are going to accomplish too much, but we're pretty much there anyway. That's not that bad. We only lost 8 Pyre health. Alright, so we want huge units. Huge units. Another Welder Helper seems nice. We have a lot of energy, so I don't think we have to sweat these expensive cards too much yet. I think an Alpha Fiend, which got buffed, by the way, which is, again, very personally satisfying because I have advocated for a while that this card kind of stinks. Now, I want the Alpha Fiend to be better, but I also want to pick up one of those huge units. This is what we want. And now we really want to upgrade, like, as soon as possible. Because these units are huge. We'll draw one of them on turn 1. Hopefully Demon Fiend, otherwise it'll probably be unplayable. But, it's okay. Personally, I feel like fishing for remove consume and then putting it on imp in a box is pretty great. But the simple play here, I think, is like... I mean, to be honest... I don't even really want to reroll and take 2 other things. I think I'd rather just start cutting some garbage out here. And we really want less units because we have some good ones already. Last time, we were very happy with our train stewards. This time, not so much. So armor 10 for a unit draft. It's really going to make it harder for us to get slay triggers, which is really bad. Because our... And also, just making enemies to kill when our pyre is starting weak is a little scary. So there's some cowardice here, but it's cowardice that I think is actually quite sensible. So I think we like this and this. You're a great tank for us. You're going to get quite strong. Unfortunately, the Alpha Fiend doesn't really do much for us if he's not attacking, but I'm going to put him up here just in case there's a Collector up there. And then there's no real reason to play that, because we need the Slay triggers, so... Alright. Personally... 50. Alright, so we do get a Slay trigger. Might as well get a Train Steward out there. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good setup. Thanks for the energy, I suppose. And you know what? Have some rage that you'll never get to use. But it's a good thing you're not going to be able to use it because we're going to pog off here. The pogging has begun. And you're already dead. And now you're like, dude, you don't even know it, but you're like super dead. Okay, that went extremely well. We probably could have done it with the armor. We could have kept the armor on to get another unit, but it's okay. I definitely think we can, and they made this better too. I think we can afford expensive cards more so just because we want them to, I mean, if they don't show up early, it's a little rougher, but I don't really think we need capacity. I think this is an energy build through and through right now. Now, I hate to say it. I'm like, what if you duplicated? No, you can't duplicate a Demon Fiend. Don't be insane. Don't lose your mind. You're gonna think this is weird. I really only want to take the units that I want to take. I don't want to just add units willy-nilly. So I'm trying to think. Rare Umbra could give us Trample. Rare Melting could give us Endless. Rare Awoken is just heals. But actually, well, potentially, I guess you could get like Channel Song, but I think that's what I'm looking for. Cycle of Life, Spreading Spores. All cards drawn this way get enhanced with -2. Let's try it. I don't know. Trample could be very valuable, don't get me wrong. But mostly the reason I came here is for pyre health, honestly, just to make sure. Because I think we got a pretty good run. Ideally, I would just like to make sure we live long enough to make it pop. But I think we're in an extremely good setup right now, mostly because of our starting relic. But we need to draw Demon Fiend early. It has to happen. And we did. So I think we will go Demon Fiend, and we'll learn our lesson a little bit. It's a bit dangerous, but this does allow our Alpha Fiend to kind of get poggy. We need them to attack to get the buff, is what I'm getting at. You guys are doing great. This is pretty much the exact setup we want. Fair. Well, if we're going to do it this way, then what we should do is this. We don't care if you get hit. We just want to make sure you're attacking once per turn so you get strong. And then we want a tank in front of you. Unfortunately, right now, the only tank that we have is our Train Steward, which is not ideal, but that's okay. You got to do something like this. You were just hoping it killed the unit at the back, and it did. And you're still dying, but I don't think there's any getting around that. And there's no real place to put these, huh? So probably just leave them in the deck as borderline spells. Maybe capacity is worth more than I'm giving it credit for. You're in a world of hurt, huh? Better. This fight is not long if you do a lot of damage. So I think like we're very much not sweating it. We might like to cast like Ice Tornado, but I feel like drawing 3 cards that get -2 each is also real nice, because they stay that way for the rest of battle. These are not like ideal cards. By the way, this will give us a Slay trigger, so I don't want to kill any of these guys. I think we actually like the way that turned out, even though it might seem insane. Bro, that hurts. Very ouch. Okay. Probably final wave. Yeah, it just felt like the final wave. You're taking 0. That's no good. You guys are doing fine. You're still taking 0, huh? How is that possible? You get hit. You don't do enough damage to get the kill. Now you don't... Okay, well, there's nothing else we would have done. We can't put our imp on the top, on the middle floor, I should say, so it all comes down to this. You're only taking 235, which means we have just lost. And there's really, like, very little we can do about it. At this point. Just gonna be honest. If I could redo that, I probably would not have played the rail spike. That's what I'll say about that. Lesson learned, I suppose. Rage gets better. I think that's it's a decent line for us to pursue. And multi-strike plus rage stack really nicely. And hold on, are we playing sap boss? What are we playing again? Buffs and debuffs. Not great for rage, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, we got a different play this time. Sorry, I raided Apollo after my stream. He's playing Mahjong, and he must have had the east and 2 green tiles because everyone's typing egg. So I jumped in there just to say hello. We have fun here. So I think it's not optimal, by the way, but I think this is okay for now. And we're gonna get the collector, which is nice. Why don't we sack town you? I would prefer if you died. You get a Slay trigger, huh? I mean, you got so much armor. You're kind of crushing it. I think we'll try to slow you down, but it probably makes sense to get all your efforts on one single unit, right? That way, they're less likely to even make it. Maybe? I don't know. I'd have to look at the mathematics of that. What's your frostbite? So this will kill you. It's great. We don't really care about you. And you guys are doing okay. Although you probably would want to have a train steward put up a blocker here, even though this seems pretty minor. We gotta be much more protective of our pyre than usual here. You're only, I was gonna say you're only taking 40 damage. Now you're taking 136, which is a lot better. Thankfully, a lot better. Our pyre is gonna take 2 hits from that guy. And we need to cast some spells. Wow, 3 hits. That hurts. Not as much as this hurts. I was just gonna say, literally like a single spell would do it. We want rage enablers that scale well on our champion. Kind of a gimme. Very expensive, but kind of a gimme. I'm gonna skip. The spells don't interest me right now. You are great, though. The Titan Sentry is incredible. And I think for now, you still want this... You want them to be a sentry for your champ. Even though your champ comes out with armor 10. Maybe could have made the rage spell cheaper now that I think about it, but... Titan Sentry getting tankier. It matters. It matters. Titan Sentry getting Rage 7? I kind of think that's a save money situation. I don't know, actually Welder Helper with Rage 7 is kind of interesting. I don't think Incant Armor is what we want. It's a valuable unit. Oh, we probably should have gone here first. I think we just want a sweeper in general that we can give some extra damage to. But we don't want to give them the Incant +1 armor. And we can't turn that on. Our Pyre is like devastated, dude. You kidding me? Sorry, I'm caffeinating here. So we love a sweeper on the bottom floor. Preferably, they would even live. I mean, you're pretty good there. We like you here, as long as you only have 2 space, which you do. Okay, that's fine. And then, I mean, preferably, we would just keep you from doing as much damage. This is good. You have to come out here. You have to die. We don't really want to sack the imp, so that's a good reason why we should have done things in a slightly different order, for sure. This imp is he's doing gangbusters right now. I'm not going to sack him. He's doing a wonderful job. Keep it up. So it might seem like our Frostbite unit is not that good. It's not true. They're amazing. Just sometimes you won't see the value of it. So we'll leave this guy back here to get sacked in the future. By the, whatever it's called, Impish Scholar. It's not called Impish Scholar. Important work, I think. You'll only see the true value, hardware, once we go on the Relentless Wave. 41 damage is still pretty good. Still pretty good. None of these guys do much. You're dead. How about that? And that takes you up to 30 by 2. That's an incredible... we learned a valuable lesson there. It takes you from 12 to 60 damage to play that once. That's pretty good. I think another one would be very nice. We do want to make them cheaper. Way too expensive. We do want to make them cheaper. So we'd love to see spells and Pyre health on the same side. They're not, but that's okay. I know units are always valuable, but I kind of like, I know what I must do, okay? Here, I still want you to have more HP, that's number 1. But multi-strike on our sweeper unit is valuable, and then... Rage, does Rage not decay? Still decays. But this gives you so much more damage. And by this, I mean Rage. Because this will take you, because it gives 21. For like, this doesn't pass the break-even point for like 7 turns. So I think that, realistically, by the time you reach 7 turns, you're not going to be worried about it too much. It's going to be written in stone no matter what's going wrong, I guess. Or going right or going wrong, I should say. Sure. Like, it's not a great duplicate, but I think it's fine. And I still think we're on full energy build right now. Certainly, units are still very important for us, so capacity could be useful, but we don't really... We only have like 2 units that we actually care about right now, to a high degree at least. 2, 5, okay. Well, I mean, this is your setup. And then I would say... I mean, giving our frontline unit more armor is just... I'll say it, it's Poggy. I'm not afraid to say it. Now we have something to hit important work with as well, when we get it, or if we get it. Honestly, you don't have a whole lot of HP, but we'll work with that in the future. Preferably, I would prefer for you to get out of here. Still a lot of damage output that we are not sweating whatsoever. Go ahead, like, honestly, kill the train steward. Nobody cares. Oh my. And I still think you do it like this. Because again, I can't stress enough. This guy, he doesn't matter. The only question is whether or not we'd rather... I'm trying to think about how to do this. I think we'll set it up like so. Now that I think about it, a train steward in front of this unit would probably be of much greater value. But to be honest, I'm heavily considering playing Ritual of Battle here. I think you send it. Full on. Our champ is not in danger. At all. At all, at all. Because our tank is not in danger. At all, at all. So you're dead, right? Like, yeah, okay, there's nothing you could do, dude. We might as well just send it. Energy's still precious. Didn't even get through the tank. It's wonderful news. What do you got for me? So rage is always good, but energy is very dangerous right now. Like 2x. If we had the one that was like, you get x plus 3 on each one, I would be way into this, but right now I just don't see it. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm the fool. I don't see this getting better. I think this is where it taps out. That doesn't mean it's not good enough, because it is pretty good, but I'm gonna try it. Time to learn something. I do have to be honest. I really think that 2 Titan Sentries is completely okay. And we can have 1 block for our spell weakness unit. We could even put that as the bottom floor to get as much spell weakness on them as possible early on. Okay, so we love that Pyre health. And we need the spell upgrades. Or would like to see spell upgrades. Now, to be honest, I think holdover, although good, is not the play here. I think the play is a reroll and making both of your Ritual of Battle much easier to play, and then maybe making both flash freezes like closer to instant kills. This is a mature decision by my standards, and we definitely want you to just have more multi-strike, because we already have one of the greatest tanks in the game's history. All right. So it's gonna get harder, but I think things are okay for now. Spikes are very dangerous because our champion dies basically too quickly to turn these on. I don't think we can do it. We don't have any other heavy-hitting units. It all comes down to our champion. You're the good tank, so welcome to the front. Now, you're not doing too much just yet, which is unfortunate. Let's go. But a single rage enabler, and all of a sudden, oh baby. So we have a sweeper. You're both done. You're toasted. You love to see it. You guys are already torched. You do 1 damage. Functionally, we don't care. So I think we just go... We go hard on you. 51 with 10 frostbite. So you'll be at 14. You'll need to take 1 more hit somewhere. Slow you down. There you go. That seems like the right play. An imp. We don't really want to sack this imp. Because he does do 22 damage. On the other hand, it would give us a good chunk of energy. Like, we know we're going to do this. Ah, screw it. Ladies and gentlemen, is this what we wanted? I feel like it's kind of what we wanted. It does apply armor, which means on the backline unit it's not quite as strong, but... so here, you're going to get to our Pyre, and I accept that as the cost of doing business. You're not going to do much to it, though. We gotcha. So right now this run is built like super nicely when it comes to dealing with the boss, and everything else is extremely secondary, which is scary. For now, this is okay. I don't really think we want this imp. Energy's important, but... $10 armor. I don't know, I just feel like... I sort of just feel like it's not that valuable. I feel like we get armor so easily already that we just don't need it. And I really don't think Guardian Stone is that good in this deck either. We just don't cast that much most of the time. A few extra armor here and there doesn't tend to make much of a difference. Frostbite 6 for 0. I think we're tight right now. We really want units. Like, to upgrade units or B to make units stronger. If you don't give me the option... I think we go spells again. And we can add units to our deck by removing units. But we really do need like one more great floor is probably necessary in order to make this happen. So I actually don't know that that's that relevant. What I do think is relevant is Ritual of Battle being even cheaper. And then maybe getting a Frozen Lance out of this deck because the torches are okay. And then making this one cheaper as well. Cheaper by the dozen. Remember that movie? Steve Martin, Bonnie Hunt, Taylor Lautner. Don't do Queen Latifah? No, that's Bringing Down the House, idiot. They're two different movies. Units can't heal, but they get plus 10. I don't think we heal a single unit. So honestly, though I don't consider it all that valuable, and this is good too, but I think I'd rather have plus 10 on everybody than just plus 25 on our tank. But it actually is a tough decision, because plus 25 on our already superb tank would be kind of interesting. We don't turn it on. The only thing I want to turn on right now is unit draft. Everything else is, well, or things that we can easily do, of course, but we're not there yet. Okay, so you're not the super tank, so we have to use our brain. You don't really do enough damage to frighten me. So I think we just do this. And then this. And this. This is honestly a great start. But we do want to draw our super tank on this turn. And we got him. So, hook it up. And, hook it up. I think we let you take the heat this time. Pretty good. None of these units are healing anyway. You're probably not gonna get gotten by the time you get to the top. So I would say we get you with one of those. Get out of my deck, please. And, hold on. Killing these guys, honestly, just... If you kill one of the units at the back, it makes the unit, our tank unit, take more damage. So, not the right play right now. But in some situations, it may be. Honestly, I'd rather save 10 of your HP and get this out of my deck. And I have no idea whether that was the right play. I consider myself too lazy to do the math, but you know what? It worked. So you get sacked, and then you come out. And you get tank this guy up, and let's see how we're doing here. You do have 8 turns of stealth, which is the dangerous part. Whether or not this is the right play will be interesting to see. Seems like the right play to me, brother. It's like I'd rather you didn't die, but there's not much we could do about that. So we're already getting in there pretty good. It's a question about who the rage goes to. Believe it or not, I think we put the rage on this unit. And this could be costly. But we might draw even more rage next turn to make it work. We did, and you're dying. So whether or not that was the right decision, all I know is for a fact, you are deceased. So that's okay, that's not bad. Our pyre didn't take any damage. Remind yourself, what are we looking for? Rage. Rage is a big one. Even just consume for Rage 3. Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. Glacial Seal is a little bit more interesting than anything else we've had so far, but I think we can do an unnamed tome. So we're on second boss. Certainly, there's room for improvement on our units. Endless is kind of interesting. Like, I like the idea of giving this guy Endless, actually. It's quite expensive, I'll admit. You need HP. Is it better to fish? I think it's better to fish, and we got it. If we hadn't got it, I would have been pretty disappointed. But that makes both of those... It's not just about making the unit better. It's about making it so that whichever one we draw can go down in front of our champion to make sure that our champion doesn't get yeeted early. So it's almost like... It's disproportionately expensive, but I think it was for a good cause. So I have to look at this very carefully for a second. You're gonna do 12 damage. This is not enough to kill the Silophyte. Or me, for that matter. I'm gonna be honest. I think the way we set this up is... like so. And then the champion, who's gonna take a nasty hit. And then... Rage applies... Actually, Rage does apply better on you. But if we hit you with this, you're gonna slow him down faster. So this is a huge, like, mathematical moment of idiocy, and yet I stand by it completely. Yeah, actually, because we would have killed the statue faster by putting it up there. So yeah, maybe not the best play, but anyway, you're coming out here. Everything's fine. We like it. Are you the endless one? No. We'll sack you. We drew more rage. This is really good. The faster we get that, the less stupid we look, which is pretty valuable. I don't mind the incants on this one. I'm happy to not take the damage. Alright, so we got a great setup so far. Now you are the endless one. And you are a sweeper, which is always something to watch out for, and very frequently annoys the crap out of me. I mean, you can always just... I don't really want to hit you with an incant, even though it's not going to change anything. The sweeper will probably mean that our Silophyte will die before it can really do much. But that's okay. And you're endless. So I think we axe you before we can do much of the boss, I should say. Bring you out there. You're given more armor, which is always beautiful. And you're doing great stuff. Okay, there you go. We got a kill out of that. That's surprising. Okay, so you're toasted, but to give you more HP wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. You know this is, like, there's nothing we could really do about a sweeping unit hitting you. So what we're going to do is give our rage to a unit that's more likely to survive. We don't have our super torches or anything, so... I mean, because you're endless... I still would like to play you. Especially because we have so much energy. So I'll just try to ice you in the future. Or you, for that matter. But let's not sweat it too much just yet. So you're toasted. You not living is nice. Really wish I had the silence a little earlier, but this isn't that bad. So, again, controversial. Maybe a little bit. But I would actually think that applying a whole bunch of armor here works better on our Silophyte, who I'm going to continue to pronounce differently every single time just to annoy you. Just to give them some defense against any future enemies that might sweep. But all future rages should go here. I just wish you were like, I wish you had more HP. I wish you were a better tank right now, but you ain't. Wait, you have a spell weakness? Times 4. What's our best spell? Frostbite. So let's not burn it for nothing. You're taking 263. It's low. 295. It silenced something. Did it not? No, it just added silence. I mean, this felt kind of right. It's a little spooky, don't get me wrong. Sorry, our champ is doing a lot of damage. Because they're endless, we love to see it. Oh, we just drew them again immediately. That makes sense. 468. This should be interesting. They do have a decent chunk of frostbite on them, but our top floor is not really our strong suit. 198. Yeah, well, how about 270? 50. I think we got him. And we didn't take too much in the process. It doesn't really bode well for the final boss, by the way. A Transcend Imp is like... It's pretty good here. Now, energy is not as important. Draw is nice, but we need capacity to avoid the situation we just had. Which is our floor with the tank not being able to support capacity-wise the Imp. Meaning that they're just kind of on a slow descent towards their own demise. So we're going to take right path. We're really fishing for endless. If we don't get it on the first one, there's nothing really we could do. Nobody needs quick, that's for sure. So you could fish, but I probably would not. I probably wouldn't. And I think we gotta go multi-strike. Like, multi-strike is our win condition because of the rage. But we need some better tanks. Rather than remove... Do we have another... We don't have any train stewards? Okay, I'm gonna fish, but it's not for endless, because there's nothing we could do about that. It's for this, so that we can have a super tank. And then, honestly, we're probably not gonna even get to upgrade our other tank, so let's just give him some damage. Alright, things are getting very real. Plus 8 for 400 coins. You give him multi-strike. I don't think we can. This one, I think, has a low chance of success. But I think it could happen. I genuinely think it could happen. You don't need to be silenced, because it's only triggered abilities. Your multi-strike actually makes you easier to kill. I think we got to set up on the bottom floor. Well, we don't have to. But on the other hand, we could. Well, we only have 2 good floors. But you really don't want to set up... Like, we could put Champ at the top, but then if we get nothing on this floor, it's going to be harder to set it up in the future. But I think in my heart of hearts, the more I think about it, the more I am like, you know what? I think that's your play. Right there. It's a bit weird. And then this is exactly what we wanted, to be fair. We don't care if you run away. We can silence you guys, though. You can take a little hit, and we're not doing anything with that. Alright. Do we have enough to... If we get a Rage of Battle, or whatever it's called, we probably had enough to get out in front, but... As is, that's okay. So hold on. Yes, very nice. It's more important that our champ lives. And you're endless? You are endless. Toma, are you okay, buddy? This is a tough one because you're going to do a lot of damage to our pyre. I think we got to hit you with something. I don't think another one's going to move it. Because you're going to be at 79. You're going to hit our pyre twice. There's little I can do there. Killing one of these guys seems a little bit more prudent, I guess. It's okay. Pyre's doing fine. No sweat. Now, we like this a lot. There we go. I can't believe, by the way. 77? Really? Where's our rage? We need our rage cards, dude. I'm raging. We need our rage cards. You gotta go. Which actually applied more frostbite to you guys, which is kind of nice. I think you gotta at least get hit. Okay, okay, now we're talking. A little bit. Our champion is like doing nothing right now. Finally. So we definitely like, yes. These are, all of a sudden you're useful now. Who would have thought? To be honest, I'm kind of okay with you dying. And that, as long as it's productive for us. And it is because it allows us to get more out of the top floor. You're endless. I think it's worth it. I do. It's dangerous, to be sure. Let's be honest. The single best thing we could do here is this. But if we're gonna draw something like that anyway, which is not known, it would actually be better to, like, sack down you. No, it would be better to sack down you so we can get more armor next turn. Like, this is insane that this is the way we're approaching this, but it's what we're doing. And I refuse to play this to let you do one more damage, so enjoy that. So we did not draw what we wanted to draw, but it's not over yet. This is what we wanted to draw the most. You gotta go, which makes you way less scary. You're way more scary. And you even got 4 turns of spell weakness on you, which is pretty solid. And then, all of a sudden, our champion is doing 600 damage a hit. That's pretty good. Now, how are we gonna survive against the Seraph? I don't know, but it'll be fun nonetheless. It's been a fun run. We're at least in the running. We don't necessarily need the pyre health, but I will admit, if we're able to get endless on our Transcend Imp, it's like incredible. And it's not like we're getting nothing out of this. Like, we do want to remove all of this. We also want to remove all of our torches, ideally, but I can't bear to look. Multi-strike is comical, but it wasn't what we wanted. We couldn't have afforded anything from here anyway, but the armor would have been nice, but 230? Yeah, we couldn't have afforded it, so I can't beat myself up over that. I'm telling you, dude, we may still win. We probably won't, but we may still win. But lordy, lordy, if we could have gotten endless on the Transcend Imp, the Transcend Imp could have applied, like, you know, 400 armor. It would have been a dream come true. Low capacity floor is the top. Gotta be honest, you're gonna hit our pyre. You're not the super tank. So I'm actually gonna... Hey, ooh. Okay, hear me out here. I want the super tank for my champ. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I want the super tank for my champion. So I did a little mea culpa in advance. I put a little armor on this guy just to make sure that they got a chance to be okay. It's not an ideal situation here. It's a tough one, because you're like, do you really wish to send out the Transcendent? What are you? Oh, you know what? Get rid of that Ember Drain, that's huge. The Transcendent is good. However, if we save it for a little bit later, it might be able to give us infinite armor. Which, that sounds nice. So let's do that. Let's go for that infinite armor play. And not play Transcendent. This is not... it looks horrible right now, and is not great. But we just need to draw our tank, which we did. And if our other tank dies, it doesn't matter. And this is one of those weird doesn't matters, where it matters a lot. It actually matters a ton. But the reason it doesn't matter is because there's nothing we can do about it. Alright, so it really does all come down to this middle floor. Which is actually fine. So what's our new win condition? Our new win condition is summon as much armor as possible consistently. Are you endless? You are. As much armor as possible consistently on our tank in the front, and then comboing that into a Transcendent eventually that will give him enough armor to kill the boss. That's our play. It is what it is. There's not a whole lot we can really do except rage up our champion and hopefully kill all these units on this floor. That's really what it comes down to. So our Pyre is in a horrible position. This still gives a summon effect. A truly horrible position. I don't know if our Pyre will live. Which is a shame, because I think our floors might be able to handle it. But our Pyre is in a terrible spot, without a doubt. Okay, so you gotta get sacked, Towns. You get brought back. You guys are not dying. You keep purging my rage, which is very upsetting to me. I wish you wouldn't. I wish you wouldn't. Stop purging my rage, dude. I wish you could stop by, because it's over. It's over. There's nothing we can do at this point. So we got beaten by the Seraph's ability, which is, you gotta accept it. We did build a run around rage, which can be purged. Life goes on, though. I mean, just to make it that far on Covenant rank 25 felt nice. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. We'll be back to try again, and I'll see you next time. See you.